The old forest road crunched under my tires, each turn taking me deeper into a world swallowed by ancient trees. I was heading to the Whispering Pines cabin, a name that sounded more like a poetess retreat than the setting for what was about to unfold. My mission was simple: disconnect, find inspiration, and create a new series of photographs that captured the soul of solitude.
Ho, ho, ho!
The cabin itself was perfect rustic, isolated, with a huge stone fireplace and windows that looked out into an endless sea of green. It smelled of old wood and rain. I unpacked my gear, feeling a surge of creative energy. This was exactly what I needed. My first shots were of the cabin's interior. The way the afternoon light cut through the dusty air, illuminating the worn armchair, the stack of old books, the cold hearth.
Ho, ho, ho!
I set up my tripod, framed the shot, and clicked. As I reviewed the image on my camera's small screen, I felt a prickle of unease. It was a great photo. The lighting was moody and perfect, but there was something else. A faint, dark shape in the corner of the frame near the doorway. It was probably just a weird shadow, a trick of the light. I shrugged it off, deleted the photo, and decided to get some fresh air. The woods were calling.
Ho, ho, ho!
Outside, the silence was immense, broken only by the rustle of leaves and the distant call of a bird. I took a photo of the cabin from a small clearing, its wooden frame looking small and vulnerable against the towering pines. Then another of a winding path, disappearing into the shadows. Back inside, as dusk began to bleed through the windows, I uploaded the day's work to my laptop.
Ho, ho, ho!
As the images loaded one by one, my heart began to pound a slow, heavy rhythm against my ribs. There it was again. In the photo of the cabin, a dark, man-shaped silhouette stood partially hidden behind a thick tree. In the picture of the path, it was there too, further down the trail, a blur of darkness where there should have been nothing. I jumped up, my chair scraping loudly against the floorboards. I checked the windows, locked the door.
Ho, ho, ho!
My mind was racing, trying to find a logical explanation. Was someone out there? A prankster, a hermit? I grabbed my camera and, with trembling hands, decided to test my terrifying theory. I set the timer, placed the camera on the mantelpiece, and stood in the middle of the room, my back to the empty space. The flash went off, momentarily blinding me. I snatched the camera, my fingers fumbling with the buttons. The image appeared, and my blood ran cold.
Ho, ho, ho!
There, right behind my shoulder, so close its form was almost touching me, was the shadowy figure. Its edges were indistinct, its features non-existent, but its presence was suffocatingly real. Panic set in. This wasn't a trick of the light. It wasn't a person. I was completely, utterly alone in this cabin, yet every single photograph I took proved otherwise. I wanted to run, to get in my car and drive, until the sun came up.
Ho, ho, ho!
But a morbid, terrifying curiosity held me captive. What was this thing? What did it want? I felt a strange compulsion to keep shooting, to document this impossibility. It was like I was no longer the photographer, I was the subject. And something else was orchestrating this horrifying gallery. As the last traces of daylight vanished, the cabin transformed.
Ho, ho, ho!
The familiar creaks and groans of an old house now sounded like footsteps, like whispers just on the edge of hearing. I sat huddled by the fire I had managed to start, my camera clutched in my hands like a talisman. I couldn't bring myself to take another photo. I was too afraid of what I'd see. Instead, I scrolled back through the images on my laptop. And that's when I saw it. The photos were changing.
Ho, ho, ho!
The first picture I took, The one of the empty room that I thought I'd deleted was back. But it wasn't empty anymore. A face, pale and gaunt with hollow eyes, was peering out from the shadowed doorway. My breath hitched. I clicked to the next photo, the one of the cabin from the woods. The shadowy figure behind the tree was clearer now. It wasn't just a silhouette, it had a face, contorted in a silent scream.
Ho, ho, ho!
Each photo was a new horror. Faces appeared in the grain of the wood, in the reflection on the windows, in the dancing flames of the fireplace. Dozens of them, men, women, children. Their expressions a mixture of terror and sorrow. They were the previous occupants. The lost souls of these woods, trapped in the digital frames of my camera.
Ho, ho, ho!
The cabin wasn't just a structure of wood and stone. It was a vessel, a silent observer that held their stories, their final moments. The whispers grew louder, no longer just on the edge of my hearing but swirling around me, weaving through the crackle of the fire. They weren't speaking words, but feelings, waves of fear, regret, and a profound, chilling loneliness. I looked at the photos on my screen, at the faces staring back at me.
Ho, ho, ho!
They weren't trying to harm me. They were trying to show me. They were trapped, and my camera had somehow become a window into their purgatory. The shadow, the figure that got closer and closer, wasn't a threat. It was a guide. It was leading me to them. I understood then. My art project, my quest for the soul of solitude, had led me to something far more profound. I wasn't here to just take pictures. I was here to bear witness.
Ho, ho, ho!
I picked up my camera. The fear was still there, a cold knot in my stomach, but it was now mixed with a sense of purpose. I pointed the lens into the darkest corner of the room, the source of the loudest whispers, and I pressed the shutter. The flash illuminated a scene that wasn't there a second before. An old wooden rocking chair, and in it, the shadowy figure, no longer a silhouette.
Ho, ho, ho!
But a translucent old man, his face etched with a deep sadness, looking directly at me. He raised a hand, not in a threat, but in a plea. I spent the rest of the night taking photographs. Each click of the shutter felt like a conversation, each new image a story being told. I captured faces in the frost on the window panes, figures in the swirling smoke from the chimney. I was no longer afraid. I was a medium, my camera, a bridge between worlds.
Ho, ho, ho!
As the first light of dawn broke through the trees, painting the room in soft gray light, the whispers faded. The air in the cabin felt lighter, calmer. I looked at my camera one last time. The photos were just photos again. The faces were gone, the shadows had retreated. All that remained was a collection of beautifully haunting images of an empty, silent cabin. I had captured the soul of solitude, but I had also set others free.
Ho, ho, ho!
I packed my bags, leaving the key on the table. As I drove away, I didn't look back. I knew I had the story and the photos of a lifetime. Thank you so much for coming along on this chilling journey with me. If you enjoyed this story, don't forget to hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and ring the bell so you don't miss what's coming next. Let me know in the comments what you would have done in this situation.
Ho, ho, ho!
Stay curious, and I'll see you in the next video.
Ho, ho, ho!